Howdy, I'm Nick from Fouch-o Matic Off-Grid. We're at about the 2-week mark of after moving into our cabin, and as you can see, we got in there just in time. The goal was before the snow flies, and it has flown. Not too serious yet, but it's definitely easier than being in the yurt. So our timing was just good enough. So let me show you what we've been up to. So our rocket mass heater has been working quite nicely for us. It is the thing that we were waiting on before we moved into the house. And it's really working very well. We're very happy with the choice to do one of these heaters. I can't recommend it enough. So we have been running it for, at first it was about 3 hours in the morning. Now we're doing about a 4-hour burn in the morning. And that seems to be enough time to get the thermal mass charged up and the whole thing hot, so that it will give us heat throughout the day. So this morning it was a low of 15 overnight outside, and the inside temperature downstairs here got down to 56 or something like that. So that seems pretty cold, but then again, that's not where we're sleeping. Generally speaking, it's much warmer in the loft than down here. We have a lot of glass down here, and the doors aren't sealed up very well. So downstairs does stay generally cooler. But we're hoping to, do some curtains and seal up the doors and sort of finish some things, and that'll hold our heat a little better. But that overnight temperature, a low of 15 outside and only dropping to about 56, when I saw that temperature this morning at 7 o'clock, the fire had gone out 19 hours earlier. So 19 hours of no fire at all and still a completely comfortable temperature inside. It seems pretty reasonable to me. In the yurt, 55 would be kind of normal operating temperature with outside temperatures as low as 15. And that's with keeping a fire going all the time without hardly ever letting it go out. So it has changed the way we burn wood.
We can't really quantify our wood use at this point because we've only been doing this for a couple of weeks, but it seems to be that we're feeding the rocket mass heater at about the same pace that we fed our stove down in the yurt, except for a quarter as much time of the day. So 4 hours a day instead of 16 hours a day. So it could follow, probably will follow, that we're using about 1/4 as much wood.
So when I got up this morning, these spots were still at, 80 to 90 degrees this morning before I started the fire. Right around the barrel, like right here where the first ducting comes out, that's one of the warmest spots, and also on the other side, right close to it here. And then right when I have loaded it for the last time, I close it down to about that, and then when it's more or less out, I shut it. And I do that so that it stops pulling warm air from inside the house and sending it through the chimney. because with this all heated up, if it still wants to pull air. So you don't want to warm up your space and then immediately cool it by exchanging air. Also, like I said, our doors still need sealed up here and there, and some things definitely need to get tighter. But when they do, this will be an exceptionally tight building, just because of the way we insulate it. And so I wanted to provide fresh air for the combustion of fuels. So we just have a fresh air intake that's going all the way to the cold side of the building. That'll be run through a cabinet eventually, but so while the fire's really going, I have that full open, and so that keeps us from pulling air from the doorways, from the windows, and keeps a real short path for the air to feed the fire. So I just put a little damper on that. So that's just fresh air right to the outside. But 140, 130, somewhere in there, I consider that fully charged. So after that, it doesn't make sense to burn the fire any longer necessarily, because you're not going to, you've stopped charging your battery. It's like charging a deep cell battery with a generator and just letting it run and run even after the battery's full. And after burning for our 4 hours, they're running, it looks like 160 or so. I'm just kind of following the path of the ducting. Even the coolest parts of the mass are 100 degrees. That's one of our hottest spots right in there. And up here, we still have a lot of cob to do right up along the back of the bench. So that's really thin cob, as thin as like 1.5 inches, 2 inches over that pipe. So what that does is that gets very warm a lot faster than where it has 4 or 5 inches on top of the ducting, and it just doesn't hold it as long. So when the ground is not frozen, we will be doing more cob.
I think making a rocket mass heater might be the best decision we've ever made as homesteaders. Besides just the homesteading in general, and definitely besides marrying each other. The rocket mass heater is number 3 in our list of best decisions.
So the other project that we're pushing for, we want to try and get running water in here. You might remember from a video long ago, I did get a 12-volt pressure pump to pull water out of our storage tanks from our spring. And I used that water, when I was polishing the concrete floor. I've used that pump and used that water, and it does work. Our issue now is just to have a 12-volt power system and to be able to get it all hooked up to the plumbing. So most everything is in place, but of course, projects upon projects, you just don't get to everything all at the same time.
Girls, can you tell me what it's like to be living in a house instead of the yurt?
I really like it. It's warmer at night.
Well, you're making your bed by yourself, aren't you? So how does it feel?
It feels good to be in the house. It is a lot slower getting anything done now with us on every surface, but it's the right place to be for sure. And everybody's patient with me as far as getting the next item in place. So it still feels like I'm sort of sleeping inside my project instead of sleeping in my house, but it'll slowly, the projects will die down and we will eventually just be here at home. I'm still feeling good about the decision to do all this stuff myself. You know, I've gotten a lot of help along the way, but as I do any one of these things, you know, I like learning the new stuff that I need to learn, but I also appreciate not, you know, having anybody to blame but myself for how it turns out. So I'm still feeling good about that choice. I'm Nick Fouch. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Daddy. Thanks, Daddy.
Does the house feel like a mansion compared to the little yurt?
Yeah.
Do you think you might build your own house when you grow up?
Yes.
Are you glad we're in the house?
Yep. Totally.
Which parts of the house building did you participate in?
Rocket heater.
Rocket mass heater. What was your favorite part of helping?
Rocket master.
What's your favorite place in the house?
I like my bedroom. I like the rocket mass heater.
What's the most useful thing you learned?
How to build a rocket mass heater?